Hello and welcome to another episode of Supercharger Finances. My name is Jordan Bromley. I'm a financial planner with Prosperity Wealth Planning. And today we're going to be focusing on Social Security. So let's jump into it. For Social Security, for the agenda today, we want to talk about five main topics. The first is going to be why Social Security matters. The second is some common misconceptions. Three is going to be your benefit. Four is timing and when to start Social Security. And five is how do you sign up? So let's go into it. So why Social Security matters? First and foremost, it is a steady income in retirement. So as pensions become more or less a thing of the past, having some sort of income source going into retirement is going to be a huge benefit for you. Number two, protection against longevity risk. So the longer you live, the more risk there is that your assets are going to run out before you do. So having something there that is going to be a stable income source through the entirety of your life is something that can help protect against that longevity risk. Three is inflation protection. So Social Security does have a cost of living adjustment, or a COLA, that happens every year, and that is tied more or less to the inflation. It historically has been a bit lower than actual inflation. So Social Security's living adjustment historically is averaged about 1.5 to 2%. So 1.5 to 2%. Inflation has averaged a bit higher than that. So it does protect against some inflation, but not all of it. Four is going to be survivor benefits. So it does have the ability for you to take over, say, your spouse's benefit if they were the one receiving the higher benefit. Five is going to be disability protection. So should you become disabled at some point, even before kind of the age 62, which is that age that people know to be the starting age of Social Security, it's able to protect you and give you some income should you not be able to work and become disabled. And lastly, it's a foundation of planning and financial planning and planning for your future. It's going to be that income source that comes in, gives you a nice income floor for all your expenses. Common misconceptions. Number one, I should start Social Security as soon as I can. So not the case. There are definitely a lot more things to take into consideration before you start Social Security. Just because you can start it doesn't mean you should. Two, Social Security won't be there for me. This is probably the one we hear the most. You've probably heard the year 2034 as a year that the principle of Social Security won't be able to support the ongoing obligations. Now, there's a lot of things that the government can do in order to really refill the pot of the Social Security endowment to the point where it can actually support the benefits. There are some things on the table like, changing the full retirement age, or increasing taxes, or maybe lowering benefits for high income earners. So things they can do, they haven't done yet, but are potential ways to keep Social Security around. So more than likely, you are going to be seeing the Social Security benefit that you're paying for right now. Three is going to be I'll get the same benefit no matter when I claim. So that's just inherently false. When you claim, it directly impacts the benefit that you receive. So make sure to pay attention to that. And lastly, I don't qualify because I didn't work enough years. So we'll go over here just a second how many years you need to work in order to qualify for a benefit, but there are also other ways to qualify without working. For instance, a spousal benefit, so qualifying off of the person that you're married to, their benefit. So we'll go over that here in a second, but it's always best to check just in case you do qualify for benefit. So your benefit, how do you qualify? So the main way to qualify is working enough years, obtaining enough credits. So 40 work credits is what it is needed to qualify for benefit. That equates to about 10 years of work. So 10 years of working, paying into the system of Social Security, the Social Security tax, will help you qualify for benefit. Age requirement. So you also need to meet an age requirement to be able to receive a benefit. So early as age 62. If you claim it then, the benefit will be reduced. We'll go into about how much that could be reduced if you start at 62. But age 62 is when you would then qualify for the benefit. How benefits are calculated. So it is the average of your highest 35 years of earnings adjusted for inflation. They then take that amount and they apply the quote benefit formula. So depending on the benefit, the more you earn, the less of it you're going to be able to qualify for. So there's some kind of thresholds, percentage amounts of certain income amounts that we won't go over here, but just suffice to say that they'll apply a formula to that amount. That result is then your primary insurance amount, or PIA. That is a benefit that you would receive at your full retirement age, or FRA, which for most people right now is age 67. You then adjust your benefit for when you claim it. So if you claim it before that full retirement age, you'll receive less. If you claim it after that full retirement age, you'll receive more up to the age 70. So two different types of benefits, just to point out, just to keep it simple. So spousal benefits, so your spouse, say you're the higher income earner, can receive 50% of your primary insurance amount at your full retirement age. So whatever your benefit would be at age 67, say that's your full retirement age, your spouse would be able to claim 50% of that benefit. One question that people often ask, what if I continue working from 67 to 70? Would my spouse then be qualified for my benefit at 70 in a higher amount? The answer is no. So they won't be able to receive more than 50% of your benefit at that full retirement age. And a couple of things in there. So you must be married for at least 1 year. It is longer for divorced spouse rules if you want to qualify for a spousal benefit from a divorced spouse. Survivor benefit is similar, so it's you receiving a benefit based off of your spouse. So a widow or widower can receive 100% of the deceased spouse benefit. So this one can go up to the full amount that your spouse receives. So say your spouse delayed to age 70, they were the higher income earner. Should they pass away, you receive that full benefit that they receive, including any increases they get from waiting. This could be reduced, and this is important on the right here, if you take before your full retirement age. So you see these different thresholds here. So if you take at your full retirement age, you would receive 100% of the spousal benefit and 100% of the survivor benefit. If you take before that, so age 65, you would receive 95% of it. Age 64, 90%, going down to age 60, which is 70% of it. So that's why we typically will recommend that people start their Social Security at age 67 or their full retirement age in order to take full advantage and receive 100% of the potential spousal benefit or survivor benefit. So no penalties if you take on or after full retirement age. So timing, when should you start? So earliest at age 62. If you take it then, like we were saying, the benefit is permanently reduced. So not just the spousal or the survivor, but also your benefit of full retirement age is reduced for each month actually that you take it before that full retirement age. Full retirement age 66 to 67. So this is represents kind of a change that was made to full retirement age in the past. Most people now receive it at age 67. This is your full benefit that will avoid any early reductions or penalties. You can delay up to age 70. So each year after age 67, you'll receive an 8% increase in that monthly amount that you receive. Other factors to include or consider are going to be of when you should start. So again, we recommend typically at 67, but other factors to consider are, number one, longevity. How long do you think that you are going to be living? So for the people who do start at age 62, if they really think that their longevity is not going to be long, they have really reliable, consistent reasons as to why they think that they're not going to have long longevity. Say it's a terminal illness, something like that. Anything really. So for instance, health. To take that into consideration when you're thinking about when to start Social Security. Work status is one. So if you're still working, your benefits reduced. So waiting until you are unemployed. As well as just other income sources. So what other income sources do you have? Do you have a pension? Do you have significant assets that you can pull from to supplement years, say from age 62 to 67? Or do you not have significant assets? Do you need that income in order to support your expenses? So a lot of things to consider. Starting with age 67, no penalties there, but also take into consideration all these other things will help you make that choice. So one of the big things of delaying Social Security, like we've talked about, delaying to 67 and delaying past that, say up to age 70, it reaches a point where, say you were to delay, the break-even age is the point in time where the total dollars you receive by waiting actually catch up and then exceed the total dollars that you would have received if you were starting earlier, say at 62. So this is the break-even age. It's really just how much time does it take to catch up to that full benefit amount by delaying to 67 or delaying to age 70. It's a classic example of a train leaves the station 6 minutes later, traveling 6 miles per hour faster. How long does it take to catch up to the original train, right? So take this into consideration. For most people, and showing this example here on the screen here, of a benefit starting at age 62 versus 67, and the benefit at age 67 by delaying, you need to live to at least age, it was 78 in this case, in order to have made that decision worthwhile. Now, most people, given life expectancies nowadays, are living that long. So for most people, it makes sense to delay this benefit to at least 67, sometimes longer, so that way you have more of a benefit there when you are later in life. Why is that important? Later in life tends to be higher costs for instance, health expenses, which are some of the highest expenses for a retirement plan. So delaying Social Security allows you to have a higher monthly benefit for any medical expenses that may come up later in life. It's that protecting against longevity risk is one of the main parts of Social Security, and so delaying allows it to do that better. So lastly, how do you sign up? So applying online is going to be the easiest way nowadays. You can do it by phone. You can do it by local office. If you heard any of the horror stories of wait times at both of those locations, it makes it easier to apply online at ssa.gov. Recommended, apply 3 months before you are thinking about starting the benefit. So 3 months before, say age 67, you can choose the day that you want to start the benefits. You don't have to start it right when you apply. So giving it time in order so that the benefit will be there once you need it is important. What you will need when you go to apply: your Social Security number, you need proof of age, so for instance, a birth certificate, you need a W-2 or tax return from the previous year. It's good to have on hand the bank account info on file for the direct deposit to set that up. So what bank account is this going to go into? And if you are applying at this time for a spousal benefit or say a survivor benefit, so a marriage certificate, death certificate, for instance, are things that you're going to need. So thank you. That's it for this presentation. If you have any additional questions, feel free to contact us. This was kind of a very basic overview, but Social Security strategy can go very in depth depending on your specific situation. So feel free to reach out to us at info@prosperitywealthplanning.com or visit us at our website at prosperitywealthplanning.com. But that's it for today, and have a good rest of your day.
Past performance is not indicative of future results. Investments involve risk and, unless otherwise stated, are not guaranteed. Prosperity Wealth Planning LLC is a registered investment advisor located in Irvine, California. Prosperity Wealth Planning may only transact business in those states in which it is registered or qualifies for an exemption or exclusion from registration requirements. The information in this video should not be construed as a substitute for personalized individual advice from Prosperity Wealth Planning. Information is for educational purposes only and is not intended to make an offer or solicitation for the sale or purchase of any specific securities, investments, or investment strategies. Prosperity Wealth Planning is not a CPA firm or law firm and does not provide specific tax advice, legal advice, or estate planning services. You should consult with a qualified tax professional or attorney for tax or legal advice before implementing any strategy discussed herein. The opinions expressed by our firm or its supervised personnel herein are subject to change without notice. The opinions referenced are as of the date of publication and are subject to change due to changes in the market or economic conditions and may not necessarily come to pass.